Boom, 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 boom.
How many palomos did you have today? Palomas. How many palomas did you have today there, John, at 11?
Oh man, the best part was rushing home in a rainstorm. So
You know what? I don't even care if it's raining. I'm still going to my patio appointment. I don't care if the restaurant's closed. I'm going to take my own alcohol. I'm going to sit out there on that patio and it's going to be amazing.
You're like, I'm going to get rained on and I'm going to love it.
that's called trespassing. And I look forward to the police blotter.
Or commitment. Either one.
Oh, I don't knock it. Let's take a look at the weather to see what you're going to be dealing with here over the next few hours. Right now, we are kind of in a dry period in most of the area. It looks actually a little peaks of sunshine out by me. How about you? What's the outside report?
Oh, I love when we do this. Right around 43rd Street, it is dry.
All right.
I can't play because I'm in the basement.
I know. Every single time we do this, I'm like, Amy's in the basement.
Well, her tree looks nice.
And if a tornado strikes, I'm safe. Yay.
I was just going to say, yeah. We are looking at some reformative storms. So it's hot, it's humid, and as we have all that rain that just fell evaporated into the atmosphere, this is when you're going to get these pop-up showers. This is a very summer system that we've got here today with just unstable atmosphere made even more unstable by the rain earlier in the day, especially if we get more sunshine like we are. That rises the temperatures and it just kind of contributes to this refueling cycle of storms. And that's what we're going to have today throughout the day. Here's a line of storms moving over Interstate 39, that corridor moving to the east. That will not be the end of it. I think by about 6 or 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to have a strong line of storms develop in the northwest suburbs and Wisconsin state line and slam through the area anytime between 6 and 10 o'clock tonight. Enhanced risk of severe weather for heavy downpours, high winds, some risk of hail, and a slight risk for a tornado. Doesn't look like to be a tornadic event. This looks more like a wind and downpour and lightning event. But just be aware tonight. This is one of those ones. Obviously, even if it's not a tornado, it's dangerous to be walking around or out there anywhere you hear thunder or see lightning. So just be safe, people. You know the drill. 7-day forecast shows, yeah, we're in this stretch. It's a week long at least of just summer weather. It is hot, it's humid, and there's no respite. The good news is our low temperatures are still dipping into the 60s, so we're not entering that really dangerous heat situation like we can sometimes get, at least not now. We still will have some cooling and some cooling near the lakefront all 7 of these days. So that's a piece of good news. But by Monday, and there's going to be refiring storms pretty much all 7 of these days. Even if you don't see a rain graphic there, there's always a chance on these days. And Monday looks like the worst of the bunch with heat indices approaching near 100. And it's reflected in that low, too, in the 70s. So here we are, summer and into July.
And it's going to keep going on and on.
Yeah, the thunder I heard today, it literally shook the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
One
that
of our
deep.
producers, I won't call him out, but shared a post from someone on like a Facebook group page, which if you aren't in Facebook group pages are the best thing for neighborhoods. We had a concerned resident in Wheaton wondering, were those gunshots? Was that firework? Oh, it's thunder. So yes, there is some thunder happening out there.
Gunshots for thunder.
I know. I'm just like, it's like 2 and a, okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get things cooking. I'm pretty sure we're all sick of looking at the house and the yard. It's all the same every single day, but we can make things look a little bit nicer with our friend Tu Bloom, who is joining us today to talk a little bit about some DIY projects to make things around the house and the yard look beautiful.
Oh, I love Tu Bloom. I'm so excited. I always get so many good tips and it just upgrades my life 100%.
I have none of this creativity whatsoever, so it's amazing to see somebody like whip something out and go and make it pretty.
Right, and then it's perfect. And look, it seems like he's not about to disappoint at all because I see a
Tu
setup.
Bloom's got a setup here.
Look at that.
Hey, we can see you. Can you hear us?
Hey, can you guys see me?
You can, yes. Hi.
How are you guys?
We're great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe.
We are, but we're bored of it. So show us something pretty.
Ta-da! So,
I'm already impressed.
So how cool is this, right?
Yeah.
Sitting under a living umbrella that actually blooms and blooms and blooms until the first frost.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really easy to make. So this is a setup that was actually sent to me by Centauri Flowers. This was an actual setup that was actually created with everything in mind for this type of living canopy. But I'm going to show you guys actually how anyone can do it. So I've had shredded umbrellas before, and I've had umbrellas with just skeletons without the fabric. So what you need to do is there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. One of the main things is the sun parasol Mandevilla vine. It's a very vigorous vine that actually is drought tolerant, can tolerate all that full sun, and has these huge trumpet flowers that blooms all season long. So you're going to need that. You're going to need some plastic pots. So plastic pots of your choice, good durable ones with bright color. You're going to need a drill. You're going to need Phillips drill bits, a regular drill bit. Depending on what the umbrella post is made of, if it's metal, you're going to need a metal drill bit. If it's wood, of course, you can use a regular drill bit, some screws, and some L brackets. And anyone basically can turn an ordinary umbrella skeleton and repurpose it and have these pots basically drilled in right to the post, like so. Mm-hmm. Add some soil, plant up your Mandevilla vines, and actually it will start trailing on the skeleton of the existing umbrella to look like this.
Where did you get this idea? Have you just been seeing this around and you figured I had to figure out a way to do this and make it easy for everyone else?
That's a great question. I'm a total plant geek, so anything that I can add flowers to, plants to, I have repurposed filing cabinets, I've repurposed bathtubs, suitcases, stiletto heels with succulents. Just cool stuff, you know, and it's all about imagination as far as gardening goes. And that's what I've always tried to share with people that have taken my famous potting party classes. We kind of like group and we start planting stuff out. By the way, I'm opening up a store in West Rogers Park, Chicago Bloom. So you guys are going to have to check it out once we launch.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at it's ivy, right?
It's actually, it looks like ivy, so it has the trailing and climbing habits, but this is called a Mandevilla vine.
Okay, the Mandevilla vine. Now, do they produce those flowers, or are those flowers weaved within there, the reds and the pinks that I'm looking at?
This is 100% all natural, and they produce these flowers, and that is why. Yeah, and you know, if you haven't already looked them up, Centauri Flowers, they also make awesome whiskey, by the way. They bred this variety of Mandevilla vines that produces these huge trumpet vine. And if you're like me, where you're super busy or you're not a person that, you know, can deal with the frequent watering, this is the type of plant for you, whether it be in a planter or in a living umbrella that you put together by yourself, because you don't need to water it much. It's completely drought tolerant.
Well, now is this one of those that could you do like up like a trellis or something on the side of the house, or would that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, and this is one of the most more vigorous variety. So it'll actually continue to keep climbing. Stay there 1 second, okay? I'm going to bring actually one of the vines that I put on this umbrella.
Oh, that's so exciting, because we had to take out a tree.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It's a set change.
You see this? Wardrobe and set change, right? So this is actually, this is about, I mean, I'm about 5'8.5", 5'9", so this is taller than me once the vines are all up. So you can get them at this size, or you can get them half the size or even smaller, like I showed you. But they're fast growing, and they're an excellent combination in any type of planter or in ground. So, Amy, I think you just asked the question: can they grow on that grows on a lattice paneling? Absolutely. Yep. And
that'd be pretty on the house.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to California or Florida, et cetera, you'll see a lot of these, and they bloom pretty much the entire season. Wow. They're very forgiving. You don't have to fertilize them much. Of course, you know, fertilization only helps boost the foliage and the blooms, but that's why people love them. They have this beautiful shiny foliage as well, and they fill out very nicely.
Would you have to prune that back in the fall?
That's a great question. So if this was a perennial, which comes back every year, yes, you do, but it's an annual in our climate. It's an annual in our climate, so it's a a one-time deal. However, if you're like me, you can actually cut this all the way down and actually overwinter it in a nice bright window, and just bring it back out, and it'll just get just as full very quickly.
I love that.
Are we too late in the season to make something like that, or can you still buy it and it's going to grow quickly to be able to do it?
You know what? You can buy them. Again, I actually just got this in at one of the box chain home improvement stores today.
Oh,
Wow.
good.
What about the umbrella? Like, I mean, how long does it take to really grow out and fill up the whole thing? Or do you want to buy it pretty full already?
That's a great question. So of course, this umbrella, believe it or not, I just put it together about a week and a half ago.
Oh,
So, yep. So while I showed you, smaller pots like this that you can put against your umbrella, you can toy with larger plastic pots that are underneath there like these as well. You'll just need larger L brackets to make sure that they're secured and supported properly. But pretty much, we only have 3.5, 4 months to enjoy our growing season here in Chicago. So I'm all about instant gratification, right? So just go out there, grab the larger plants, grab the larger pot, get someone to help you anchor those pots onto that post, plant your Mandevilla vines, and then just trail them out.
Amen.
that is so cool. I love it.
Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, any plant questions, etc., feel free to get a hold of us. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at @tubloom, TUBLOOM. A lot of cool house plants and succulents, which is like a huge trend too, because again, it's low maintenance and little watering. Definitely check some of my posts out.
Well, I know John has a question for you.
Well,
Sure.
I have a plant in the back that's not doing so well. I just don't know if it's in the right spot. Bougainvillea, does that sound familiar to you?
Can you say that again? Bougainvillea?
Yeah, Bougainvillea. I might be saying it wrong. It's got these gorgeous red. Go ahead.
Is it something that, because Bougainvillea is a tropical, it's also a tropical trailing plant. So is it something that comes? It is, right?
It's in a nice big pot, and it was blooming. It was great, and they said it would climb. And I know it's an annual, obviously, or I could bring it in the house over the winter. But the bloom's all gone, and it's not reblooming. Is it just maybe not getting enough sun or nutrients?
Yeah, the Bougainvillea actually, and that's why a lot of people have turned to this. Bougainvilleas are beautiful, and when they bloom, they look fantastic as well. They have a ton of thorns on them for most of the variety, but when the blooms are gone, it loves full sun. So when the blooms are gone, you're going to really have to figure out why those blooms were faded, because it takes a while for the blooms to actually regenerate. But once it's in full sun all the time, it just keeps blooming and blooming and blooming, basically.
All right. Well, I'm going to move it from the front yard to the backyard every day.
Yep. Well, we're finding a place in the backyard
Just to
for
keep
it.
it getting that sun.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question. So we have rhododendrons on the side of our house, and they bloomed the first year, and then like 3 years went by, we got no blooms, and this year we've got blooms again. Why is that?
So it could be several factors. It could be nutrient related, and it could also be soil related. So if they're like, let's say 1 year we have a heavy downfall of rains to the point where it kind of like messed with the root system a bit. That'll disturb and actually destroy some of the plant's ability to regenerate and rebloom. So the other thing too that you'll need to know is if we have like a late frost and the rhododendron's pretty much on its way to opening up with the buds and stuff like that, that's not noticeable to normal people's eyes. And then we have like this frost that hits, all those buds typically tend to get burnt and drop before it even opens. So I'm guessing we've had some pretty crazy springs in the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
This one was pretty decent and normal, so I'm guessing that might be the case.
Because I forget how beautiful it is. And it's like, wow, look at all these buds. I wish I had more flowers more often.
I was just in Michigan looking at this property, and it literally had a rhododendron that was like 10.5 feet tall.
Oh, that's
Oh my gosh.
cool.
Yeah.
Before we go, squeeze this in. I have a big elephant ear plant, and when I got it, it was like a tree. It was 10 feet tall. It was huge.
Yep.
And now it's not. So the leaves, the limbs have slowly kind of just died off. And I moved it in front of a window. So I have come to that conclusion. They need a ton of sun. I'm just like, do I put it outside? Do I drill holes in the bottom of the pot? Like,
Oh, so yeah, drainage is absolutely crucial. So you definitely need drainage for any type of healthy plant. Okay. So, but however, if you have an elevator indoor, you definitely should move it outside because you want it to regenerate and get lush and full again before it like deals with those dark winters that we have. So I would probably say move it outdoors so that it can regenerate and photosynthesize and produce some food for the bulbs or its its core system so that it can generate new leaves for you. So that's what I would suggest. But if you don't already have drainage holes in that pot, you might want to actually drill drainage holes or plant it in a plastic liner, like find a black plastic liner or something where you could drop it in that pretty pot of yours and put some stone at the bottom so that it can actually still have drainage without it going all over your floor or carpeting.
Oh, man.
Man, we got to get back here. We got a lot of other questions.
I know.
Anytime, you guys. Anytime.
That's gorgeous behind you. Let's get the information up for Two Bloom. Always great to chat. And you can find out more on Two Blooms. It's easy to find. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. Thanks, man.
And
Thank you so much, guys.
Make sure you tell us when that store opens.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks, too.
Oh, that's so exciting. I need him to make a house call.
Oh my gosh. And you guys have seen what he does for the Grammys, right? I mean, this stuff is beautiful. He's been doing the Grammys for like a decade, I think.
Well, clearly it's worth it. He's worth it because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Keeping it moving, you guys. We have talked about, I want to say apothecary. So we've talked about our plants and everything, what we should have there. Let's talk about our pocketbooks. We've got wealth specialist and owner of Kimco International, Kimberly Thomas. She's joining us, and we're going to talk about money management tips during a pandemic. What should we be doing right now? Should we be investing? Should we not be investing? Should we be saving? What should we be doing? Kimberly Thomas here to fill us in.
And if not, Felicia Lawrence, you always got your money tips too. So while we wait for Kimberly, watching the markets here today, they aren't happy, but we'll get to Kimberly and let the expert do the talking. How you doing, Kimberly?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you, John?
Oh,
Felicia?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, wow. I'm doing fantastic today. Happy Friday.
Happy
Yes.
Friday.
We feel like you feel on the inside.
Yeah. All right, help us make some money or at least not lose so much.
Right.
That is true. That is true. But the market is a great place to be. It's a fantastic place to be. I hope everyone is in the market right now. It's some great buys.
well, so that's what I wanted to know because, like, obviously it dropped the Dow I'm talking about, but dropped down to about 18,000, so lost a little over a third of its value. Shot back up through April, and now it's going through a wavering period. Of course, do you recommend trying to play it with individual stocks, or do you like index funds, mutual funds, and let that money do what it's supposed to do?
Well, I like to have diversification because, first of all, we need that, especially in times such as this, because the pandemic, we've never experienced anything like this before. So make sure that you have a diversified portfolio, meaning that you're in various sectors of the market, different parts like materials, industrials, real estate. You have to make sure that you're in different sectors of the market. Don't just jump in and then just see how deep the water is or how cold the water is. But you make sure that you have a plan, as well as the mutual funds always are a great place to be because that's pure diversification, because a mutual fund is made up of multiple different companies and is working for your highest good. So mutual funds are a great place to be. But I do like those index funds too, and the indexed annuities, because indexed annuities allow us to get the better days of the market and then do not participate in the negativity of the market. So if you have a diversified portfolio, you're winning.
Okay, so let's simplify this for the people who might just be jumping in. I think a lot of people have seen how important it is. If you're just working a regular job, I think we've seen how important it is that we should be diversified. So is now a time to start, or should you just sit tight while we're still kind of in this quarantine moment?
Now is a great time to start. I will always recommend someone start now. One, because there's some great buys in the market. Personally, and I'm not preaching to anybody to tell them to do this, but I can just speak to what I did. I purchased Caesar's Palace at $2 a share, and now it's $12 a share.
Oh,
And I did that when the pandemic first began.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, you know, that was maybe about 90 days ago or so, but still, this is a great time to get into the market. It's a great time to review your portfolio to see what you've been doing and see maybe I need to make some changes because I may have taken some losses. And then also because of this new pandemic experience, we've realized a couple of things. We've realized number one, who's important, what's important, what we can live without, where we can trim the fat in our budgets.
Yep.
And then we've also learned we might need to protect our assets a little bit better.
yeah. I was gonna say, what do you tell people who may have lost a job or been furloughed during this?
Yes, and it's quite a few millions
Right.
of people that have lost their jobs and been furloughed. I have multiple clients that has happened too. And so what I teach my clients is to live on less and invest the rest. So that right there is what we start doing from day one. Because if a situation takes place when we're furloughed or either lose our job, then we have to go to our cash reserves. And our cash reserves should be at least 9 to 12 months of our expenses. So if it takes $5,000 to be you every month and you don't want to miss a beat, you need to have at least $60,000 into your cash reserves.
Yeah, and that's the thing that a lot of people I think fall short on
Yeah.
is they give themselves 3 months. But I'd say during this time, that 6 to 9 to 12 months is more where you want to be. Not that you want to miss out on gains. So I was going to ask you, would maybe being have a half in a savings that is completely liquid? But what if you could put that 6 months to 12 months in a CD, so at least you're getting something, and it still is semi-liquid.
You know what, John? You're on to something. Now, Rule of 72 tells us how many years it takes a dollar to double. So I don't necessarily ask my clients to put a lot of money in a savings account because it's only giving us 0.002 rate of return. And we don't want that. We want our money to work a little bit harder because we work hard for it. So we need for our money to be in something like a money market mutual fund or either a government securities mutual fund that gives us a greater rate of return. So when a pandemic or either something like maybe it might be a big trip or a business opportunity that we want to get into, we have that money available. It's liquid. It can be transferred to your checking or savings account instantaneously. And then also you can know that it is working for you. If you do it in a CD, it's locked up, but it's working for you.
Yeah. So what if a lot of people don't have the 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 month savings.
Right.
What if you find yourself in that predicament and maybe you have retirement? So 401k, IRA, should you dip into that and try to liquefy that money?
Felicia, that's a great question because the government did allow for people to go into their retirement accounts. So early on, when the pandemic started, some laws were changed and they did allow for people to go into their 401ks and their IRAs without any penalties. Because if you're younger than 59 and a half, then you'd suffer a penalty if you wanted to go into your IRA or your 401k. But for those people who needed a cash reserve and didn't have a cash reserve, when a situation like this arose, then maybe they can go into their cash value of their insurance policies. A lot of people don't understand that insurance policies are not like they used to be. They aren't our grandmother and grandfather policies. There's some new hybrid policies that are available that will allow people to access the cash right now and not have to pay it back.
Let me ask you a question about college tuitions and if people were planning for that, down the road. I know that states have these college funds where you start paying in now and it's supposed to freeze tuition rates. Are those a good idea?
Yeah, those are a good idea. I have clients that know for a fact that their child is going to Morehouse University or their child is going to Florida A&M. That because that's what their legacy of their family is. Their grandmother went there, their mother went there, they went there, and now their child is going to go there. So, and I'm all for that. But those accounts, when you lock that in, you have to know that that child is going to that school. So if you don't know for a fact if that child is going to attend that university, because they could be like some of my children I had.
Be like, sorry, I'm not staying in state. I'm going to Michigan or something, so I'm always worried about what to put our money in for our kids' college.
Right, and we've saved, we've missed out on some vacations, and we went ahead and put those dollars away for those children, and then they do something different. So, sometimes that isn't the best strategy.
How dare they live their own life?
Right?
How dare they?
Think for themselves.
Ask about this. So I am cheap for the most part. I love to save. I find it to be a really fun game to watch the savings account grow or the 401k. I got an E-Trade account that I do smart, fun things with, and I'm on it. But what am I saving for? At some point, I should indulge a little bit and spend, not that I have a ton of money, but like, this is what me and my husband always talk about. It's like, what am I saving for? So should you have financial goals where at certain amounts you can let yourself do something to reward your behavior?
Oh, you're speaking my language, John.
Reward.
Yeah, that's our Friday fun language, our Friday financial language. Because the city is open back up. I don't know if everybody knows, but the city is back open. So we may want to hit a rooftop or something like that. So, you're right, John. Definitely, you should treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. I learned that when I went to Florida A&M. But anyhow, I do want to let you know, John, definitely reward yourself. And when I'm working with my clients, we focus with the end in mind first. That's how we plan. So if you want to have $10,000 a month starting at 55 years old, we're working to focus on what that plan looks like. So everybody's plan, it's not cookie cutter. So if that's your goal, then we're working with the end in mind. And in between, we're going on vacations, we're purchasing cars, we're going to dinner, and we're still shopping. So like in the beginning, I think in our conversation, we started with saying live on less and invest the rest. So I think you need to do that, but don't make it where investing is a hindrance.
Mm-hmm.
Investing should be a help.
Right.
Yeah. It should be fun. It should be fun. Are there some things that you cut back on or had your family cut back on? Amy and I talk about our nails, and I'm like,
Yes. Well, one thing I did was I started shopping at Dollar Tree a whole lot more because they give a deep discount and they have things that are valuable, and I'm able to go ahead and make my budget stretch because I'm purchasing the same thing, but just at Dollar Tree. Another thing, you're right. I did change my nails, so I didn't do that. My hair is different. I'm wearing it natural.
it looks lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you so much. And then also, I don't know about our viewers, but I'm a Salvation Army Goodwill girl all day. So this dress right here cost me all of $7.50.
Oh, wow. You're a woman on a mission.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I have to make sure that I have 3 children. So I want the best for them. I love me. I learned that I'm very important as well during this COVID-19. If I didn't learn anything else, I learned that health is very important during this COVID-19, as well as we have things to do. God put us on this earth. We have a mission. So we have things to do. And so money is our tool to make things happen for ourselves and for our family. So we have to make smart choices with our very hard-earned dollars. And so, yes, I do. I do this for myself all the time. I cut back, and then from there, I plan properly and then treat myself.
Oh,
I love it.
I love it. You are certainly inspiring and certainly have a lot of good tips and recommendations for us out there. I feel like we're all on the wavelength. We're focused. We are focused. If the pandemic didn't do anything for me, it focused me with my money in terms of which direction I'm moving. So thank you so much for sharing, Kimberly.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I just want to let you know, you guys are doing a great job. Give yourself a hug.
Okay. I sure will. Yes.
You made it. A lot of people didn't make it today, but you made it.
You are so right. Okay. We are celebrating this Friday and every day.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Let's get Kimberly's info up here, you guys. Clearly, you need to get on the train that she's on because she is moving and grooving, okay? Right on into abundance. Kimberly Thomas at Ask Kimco and KimcoInternational.com. Check her out.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I'm like looking at my stuff. Don't look at your 401k today.
No, don't look. Just let it go.
No, but I had always, I'm a big saver and I'm a big like put everything away, but like do it smartly, like build up your 6 months and then go from there. And it's just like I have tolerance risk. It's fine, but like I don't know. And I do find it as like a little game. Like I love checking my phones. A little bit more is in there. That's great. And I suppose it's better than the alternative, but.
I love that you asked that question, John. What are you saving for? Your money is a tool to create a life for yourself. So we
want to buy a lake house one day. That's the ultimate goal.
I know that's right.
But even that can be done in a smart way that can make you money.
Yeah.
Too, so.
We just want to get kids in college and make sure that somebody becomes a doctor so they can take care of us.
I know that's right.
Wait, that's right. I got a plan for kids. That's
Well, Henry and these video games, you better work on the twins.
Yeah, right.
The summer barbecue we're doing is a blast. In fact, I just sent out an email claiming which recipe I want to cook. Because this is a lot of fun. We've got a lot of submissions from folks about what their favorite summer barbecue, side, dessert, whatever is, but we really still want yours. Seriously, it seems like this is so easy to do. We want you to submit them, and this is Felicia's. Ooh, Felicia, an easy smoked salmon.
Yes, you just put some oil, you season it up however you want to. I use blends of like Cajun seasoning and lemon pepper, and you put that thing on some foil on the grill. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you do foil.
I do foil, yes. Though what are you, the cedar plank person?
Yeah, I've done the cedar plank. Now, do you have the skin on one side or not? Or do you have?
I have the skin on the one side. I do.
Do you do skin side up first or down? I guess
down first. I do it down first. Yeah.
That's what I did too. But then someone was yelling at me on the internet to do up first, and I messed
Well,
up.
it's a lot of yelling going on in the internet, so you do what you like to eat.
So, anyway, submit your recipes for us, and we'll argue with you about them. Barbecue. We're going to be cooking them up this weekend and into next week. We're going to be posting them next week as well, so you can see how we do it, your barbecue recipe. But that's the thing. I want it to be a challenge, and I've seen some fun ones already, so I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
All right, so this year, every year, June is Pride Month across the world now. It's obviously started in New York, and Chicago's been doing it for a long time. This year, though, is taking on not only a different feel because of coronavirus, the pandemic, but obviously the death of George Floyd and the protests that erupted from there, rightfully so. And they've kind of merged messaging in many ways. And in this past weekend, recently, there was a March for Pride led by a lot of the city's drag queens. I believe we have a clip of that to show some of what was happening at the event.
Get on the right foot. No justice, no peace. No racist police. No justice, no peace. White silence is white violence. 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 Whose lives matter? Trans lives matter.
Really a powerful moment there, and the merging of a lot of different causes that are important in this time. And joining us now to chat about that is Miss Toto. How you doing, Miss Toto?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. First of all, thanks for joining us. And obviously, your reaction to what we were just seeing.
I was like, oh my God, that's me. But I knew that was coming. But it's weird seeing myself because it feels like such a different experience when you're like in the march, at the march, then watching it back and you're like, wow, that felt kind of like an out of body experience because it is so emotional and so powerful to be a part of that. So just reflecting on that whole experience is really, it's powerful to like look back on and think about.
Yeah, I have chills just because I felt the intensity of what was happening. Like we're literally talking about saving people's lives. That's serious conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems I've been a little bit amazed and impressed, I will say, that all these different marches, the diversity of people that are participating in it is pretty awesome.
So I think what was special about the Drag March for Change is that it was LGBT focused and drag focused, specifically because of the racial tensions and everything that's been built up in Chicago, specifically in the Boys Town area. So instead of having a Pride, because June is typically Pride Month, this was a version of Pride that was pertinent to the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's not supposed to be a celebration of who we are right now. It is a protest. In the original Pride, it was a riot. So in reference to how authentic Pride typically is, this is the most authentic Pride has been in a very, very long time. So it was really powerful in the sense of like, we're actually standing for something as LGBTQ plus people and using our voices to try to make a difference, not only for the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole, but for the people specifically affected within the Black community as LGBT individuals.
You bring up such a great point about what the origins of the Pride marches, parades, everything used to mean. Because, you know, it's amazing. The Pride parades have been incredible, right? 3/4 to 1 million people, but when it happens every year and you expect these crowds every year, it becomes noise a little bit at some point. Not that it's not great, but you lose a little bit of the edge of what it's supposed to be. And the start of the Pride movement was Black and brown trans people that were really standing up. So there is something beautiful, cyclical about this, but also at the same time, we're 50 years later, we're still for this stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to think about because even just talking to my parents, like my parents are a little older. So this is their third civil rights movement. And just talking to them about it, they're like, this is insane. Like, we are tired of fighting for this, but now it's your turn to do your part and fight for it. And my dad said this time feels a little different because now everything is so tangible, opposed to having to rely on the media, having to rely on the news. Like, that's the only way messages were getting spread. But now everything is at our fingertips with the internet. Like, something happens immediately, the whole world will know. Mm-hmm. So it's able to spread information faster. People are just more aware of either their privileges or the injustices that they've faced, depending on where they come from. So it's a very different time than it has been in the past. And in my life, it feels a lot different. And then just talking to like my family members and the elders who I know who have been a part of the civil rights movements in the past, they say it also feels very different.
Can you talk a little bit about, you're talking about the racism in Boys Town specifically. And, for those of us who may not have spent a lot of time in Boys Town or experienced that, well, I was a little surprised to hear about that really now.
Yeah, so I moved to Chicago about a year ago in March. So it was very new to me. I was like, Boys Town, excited. It's like the first nationally recognized gayborhood. So I was super excited about that. But then as I was working in Boys Town as a Black queen, I realized either I was being tokenized as like, we have our Black drag queen, like that's what we've got, and you're the only one. But also things about payment, like all the Black drag queens were not getting paid the same or given the same respect, same payment. And then some of the bars have an unspoken rule of playing no rap music because it attracts an urban crowd or a wrong crowd, which also is just inherently racist because they're—
And you say unwritten, and even it's sometimes written.
Sometimes written.
Yes.
So there was an email that was leaked from Progress Bar last year. Literally the day that I'm moving, I started seeing all this stuff of one of the bars, Progress, that released a statement saying not to play rap music, specifically Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, because it's gonna make the urban crowd, Black people, get violent. So that's just another example of the racism in Boys Town, but that also ties into the establishments that allow these people as show producers and showrunners to have power. And all those people typically are white people. And it has become just like such a normal practice, but because of the movement, now people are listening to Black performers and Black people in general. So now we're holding the mic and we have the megaphone and people are listening to us, which then led into the Drag March for Change, which then led into the Chicago Black Drag Council, which is a collective of Black performers, go-go's, like anyone really involved in nightlife in the scene is a part of this council or is able to be a part of it. And we've been just really trying to be professional and holding these, not only the establishments, but the people who run these shows accountable for how Black people and Black performers are treated in these spaces.
Mm-hmm. I guess what kind of tangible action moves this mission forward? I think it's great that we are having this conversation and speaking out about it, but how can we really make this change a lasting change?
So we had, I believe it was Tuesday, we had a roundtable with all of the bars that we reached out to all the bars in Boys Town and the North Side. And we invited them to this roundtable where we were able to voice our concerns about just the scene in general, as well as direct locations that we wanted to speak to as well. And this was all in a closed conversation with them, but it was all recorded because it will get released in the future. But we gave them action items. Like as far as mine, I was saying like, we need transparency with the budget as far as how much the bar is making on a night that is specifically for Black people. We need that transparency to play rap music. We need Black show producers, Black showrunners, Black people in management. We just can't have a Black drag night and that be enough, because that's not enough representation for us. And that's not enough representation for the attendees coming to this space to feel safe and welcomed. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty much a call to action of saying like, here are some of the experiences that people have had in your establishments, and here's what you need to do to fix it. And we're giving them time, opposed to just like recording it and releasing it. We're giving them time to make these meetings and make these calls and start taking actionable steps to then, once the video is actually released of the meeting, that here are the things that they've done so far to make the change happen.
Love that.
Yeah. How have you been doing? I know that we're going into stage 4, so there's going to be some limited indoor capacity. Any performances on the horizon? Have you been able to do any like things on the patio recently?
So I am like a super hypochondriac. I refuse to do anything outside unless it's like strict guidelines, but I'm really thriving in this online atmosphere, like producing these music videos. Basically, as drag queens, we have now become producers, editors, like literally everything under the sun to make these mini music videos. And I really like that aspect, because not only can we do this online and still make a living and like produce these amazing art pieces, but now in the bars, a lot of the bars have video screens. So we may not even have to go to the bar in order for these people to see our drag shows, which I really, really like, because like say we have a theme night and everyone can submit a video and that could be played as the opportunity for a drag show. So I'm excited to see what happens with stage 4, despite me not trusting everything with stage 4. But outdoor spaces with us being in the summer, I am looking forward to, as long as certain guidelines are followed. Like I need everyone in a mask. I will also be wearing a mask. Not touching any dollars, because it is 2000.
I was just gonna say, gotta have a jar somewhere else where that goes, and you don't do the touch. Yeah, exactly.
It is 2020. Everyone has like any type of digital pay information. There are multiple platforms you could pay me with. Like, I'm not touching a dollar until at least
have your Venmo sign somewhere. I mean,
I don't know. You said dollars though. What about Benjamins?
Okay, that's different.
I'll risk it for a Benjamin.
I would do anything for Benjamin. But before Corona really like took over the drag scene, once again, I was being very precautious, and I was wearing like as just a fashion glove, just so I have protection as a barrier between the dollar and myself. Mm-hmm. And then you don't realize how dirty money is until money. And then you go wash your hands and you're like, oh, I'm filthy after just touching all this. So I might try to like form some kind of document as being like, hey, drag performers or burlesque performers, if you're taking money, here's what you should properly do if you're going to be handling money, or here's like other ways to receive money that aren't you directly touching the dollar. So I'm excited to be performing like live again, because that's something that I really, really miss. But I am still being cautious of my own health and safety, as well as the health and safety of the people coming to these shows.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, I wanted to ask real quickly, because our producer had mentioned this, not that he actually had to mention this, but we understand that you're really into bodybuilding. And so what is the cut?
The cut.
And I love the fact that you're wearing a donut shirt, by the way.
Donuts and deadlifts, if you could read the whole thing.
Oh, I can't see the donut shirt. Okay.
So The Cut was a show that was being put on by me and this drag collective called the Unfriendly Black Hotties that I'm a part of. We created that last July, literally just hanging out on the 4th of July. We were like, we are the Unfriendly Black Hotties. Let's throw a party. And then that turned into this, it was going to be a competition show called The Cut, in which we would have a team of 4 drag performers being mentored by us. And then it would go through a selection process. And then at the end of the 9 weeks of all the people, the mentee would win $500 as well as the mentor winning $500. So we both have a little situation, but because of The Cut being canceled because of Corona, now The Cut has become people in the scene who have like not stood up for racial things, but like been very racist in their past. So now we've taken The Cut online. So it's like, you could be up for The Cut if you've done racist things in the past, because now everyone's being held accountable for things, whether they were directly in relation to the racism or just being complicit in it. What's been happening is more people are coming forward and saying, I am sorry, here's how I've been complicit in racism, and here's how I've been involved with it without even knowing. And that's been very nice, because opposed to us going on a witch hunt and being like, this person did this, this, and that, people are coming forward and being like, here's where I was wrong, and here's what I'm gonna do to try to fix that.
So that Unfriendly Black Hotties group, are you taking applications?
She's pretty tall too.
Black Hotties, whatever you wanted.
Okay, I'll send over my specs.
Yes, send me your LinkedIn.
My resume, right?
Miss Toto, it's been great to chat with you. Nice work on everything, and the fight continues.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for all the work in the community.
Yeah, and there's all the information on the screen too if you'd like to follow Miss Toto on Instagram, on YouTube, and the webpage is themisstoto.com.
Yes, look at that.
All right, hey, it's game time. Let's bring in it's game time. We got to bring in the rest of the fam.
Let's get them in.
Yo.
Yo, what's up, guys? All right.
Krista, look at Krista, always looking cute. What color are your nails today, Krista?
Oh my gosh, you guys, I did something.
I know.
I went to the nail salon.
I did too.
Wow.
Hey, you went too, Amy?
I did. We did it.
Nobody told me we were going back.
It was time.
It was time. I agree. And I usually do my own anyway. Even when we weren't in quarantine, I was doing my own. But I felt the need to, give back to my local businesses and have someone else do it for me.
There you go. And treat yourself.
I feel betrayed.
All right, guys, we're going to play another round of Never Have I Ever.
Uh-oh.
My favorite and least favorite.
What's that?
Yana's not here this time. Last time she
won, and she was done.
lost, but however you look at it.
Yeah. Who came in second place?
I believe I was is the winner the person that like has the least fingers down?
That's the drunk.
No, that's when you get. That's not really winner though, because
I had the least. I had the least.
You have the most. That's when you're the winner.
Yeah, so Deanna won, I think. I don't remember who was in second. But okay, so hands up, right? We're gonna do our hands up.
We're doing 5, no? We're doing 10? Let's go, guys. Let's do it.
Okay, sorry.
You take your hand down if you've done something, right? Or you take your finger down when you've done something.
Yeah, when you've done it.
You've done it. Okay, so here we go. Never have I ever fainted.
Fainted?
I fainted a couple times.
I fainted.
Anytime I give blood, I faint. In fact, the
Really?
last time I had to
Blood
do it,
gets me bad.
I really thought I was going to be good, and I made it for a while. It was really funny. It was actually after one of our shows. I had to go. I just did my physical and blood work, so I was still all made up. So I was feeling really faint, and the nurse looked over. She's like, "Oh no, your skin complexion still looks fine. You're good." And then she looked over like a minute later. She's like, "Oh my God, your lips are blue. Are you wearing makeup? Lay down," because she turned white. Like that's that's when they would know. But I still looked so perfect.
Can we backtrack really quick? John just said it was really fun. Who describes fainting as fun?
That's a weird thing.
If I said that, I misspoke. So
it's a good thing that boys can't have babies because you are never going to make it, my friends.
Yeah, you said you faint every time you see blood.
Right? No, coming out of me. So
imagine a pregnant John.
That still applies.
All right, ready? Our next one.
Who's next?
Never have I ever.
We're moving. You don't get to do them all.
Yeah, Amy,
Come
come on.
They
We
send them to me.
rotate.
I'm okay with you doing it all,
I think
Amy.
she should do them all. I think she should do them
No,
all.
everyone picks something. You got to
Yeah,
pick.
no, because then Amy will never put her finger down because it has to be things that Amy's never done.
Oh, well, she didn't
Okay.
give me a list. I was reading from a list.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
All right,
Okay, good.
Never have I ever gone on a road trip.
What?
I know.
You've never done a road trip. That's
I've
weird.
got to.
It's a pretty
It's on my
common thing.
list.
You've never done a road trip? She
Wait,
broke-
what?
You live in the Midwest. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, how will you not do road
Wait,
trips?
what? You never did a road trip?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a road trip.
Let me put your finger down.
Okay.
You know what we're playing? We're still playing.
Wow.
All right, Poper, your turn.
It's my turn. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Huh. Never have I ever got stitches.
Oh yeah.
About that. Wait, you're supposed to put your finger down when you do, right?
Yeah, when you
Yes.
do.
John,
Finger
you should,
down
have
when
three,
you do.
you should have 3 fingers down now.
No,
When will
but-
we figure it out?
Oh, right, because I've done a road trip. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, I've gotten stitches. In fact, my dad has administered stitches to me many times as a kid on our kitchen table growing up. If we broke something, we nicked under my chin, I'd get them a lot. In fact, if you ever see up close, you can't see a little beard hair here because I've had stitches like 4 times underneath this. I cover it with makeup, but if you saw me in real life, you'd see it hole there. And because I always would bump my chin on something and then it'd split open and my dad would just tie it up on the kitchen table.
Well, that's kind of nice. I always have to like go to the hospital when I get stitches.
Yeah, yeah.
John,
Like normal people.
you weren't supposed to start drinking that early.
Or that young.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There
That's
you
what
go.
I meant.
Yeah, that was funny. All right. I'll go next. Never have
Okay.
I ever broken a bone.
Yeah.
Does a finger count?
Yes.
Yeah.
The bone.
Bone.
Definitely broken some bones before.
All right.
Not
It
me.
just feels so small, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's true. Felicia, you're next.
Steve?
Oh, I don't. Okay, never have I ever. I don't have one, guys.
It's
Come
tough.
on.
Give me
She's
one
done
on the list,
everything.
Amy.
She's done it all.
I can't give you one of mine now.
I don't have one, guys.
All right, fine. We'll skip you. Skipped. Amy, over to you.
Okay, never have I ever eaten expired food knowing it was expired.
Oh,
Bye.
all the time.
Well,
Please.
My mom
Depends what it
is
is.
the queen of this. She's like,
I'm
oh,
trying to
it's
think.
fine. It's
It
not
was like
moldy.
2 days ago. It's totally fine.
are we going
Yeah.
by expiration date?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's called expired food.
Well, I look for details though. Is it best by date or is it
Expiration.
sell by date?
Mm.
I'm
Just-
saying they have different meanings. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
This thing will tell you all you need to know about old food. Just figure
right.
it out.
Only the freshest food for me.
All right. Chris, I believe, is next.
Amy, no? Or did she just go? Okay. Never have I ever been to a drive-in movie.
Oh, man. I love
Oh.
doing those.
Still.
Also on my list.
Yeah. That's
I'd
a lot
like
of
to
fun.
try
We go
one.
through
It'd
two
be
there.
nice.
We used to go once a summer. There was a place down by Champaign-Urbana in Gibson City that we'd always go to at least once a year. It was a blast.
What the heck, John? Why didn't you tell me to do that when I was down there?
We were not in the same social circles, nor the same decade, but we would not have been friends. You were a sorority girl. I was a Murphy's, you know.
We would have been friends. You worked at the radio station. We'll get on this online offline, but we would have
All
been
right.
friends, John.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Never have I ever been camping.
Oh,
I was about to say that one.
Really?
Yes, I've never been camping.
Never been camping.
So you took mine. Somebody else
I
go.
camped in the backyard 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I've been camping.
I don't do
feel the need
outdoors
to
like
go
that.
sleep out in the woods.
Yeah.
No.
Did
Yeah.
I like it? No. But have I been camping? Yes.
If you haven't had to bring a toilet seat on a vacation with you to fashion it in between 2 logs and do number 2 in the forest, you have not lived, people.
Wait, you bring a toilet seat with you?
I will pass.
Yeah,
Never
when we
did
did
that.
camping in Upper Canada, we didn't have an outhouse. We had to bring the toilet seat in a tarp to create a bathroom. That was not great. That was actually
We just went.
That's next level.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
never. Oh yeah, it was. Never have I ever hitchhiked. I don't think anyone here has, right? No, that's such a
Interesting.
70s thing.
Well,
Hitchhiked?
Yeah, one time.
What?
What? Why?
You first, Felicia.
No, I didn't hitchhike. I said, of course, Krista has hitchhiked.
Oh, well, yeah, it was one time we were in Michigan. It was all of my college girlfriends. It was like right after college. We were on it like a little wine, Michigan vineyard trip. And it wasn't a road trip. I mean, unless you call driving to Michigan a road trip.
That is a road trip.
Road trip.
The definition of a road trip.
But it wasn't like,
Well, they didn't have a car.
Road trip, I think like you're going somewhere far, you pack snacks, you got to like shift, who's driving, you have a schedule. It wasn't a road trip. We literally just drove to Michigan. All right, maybe
That's a road trip.
What did you do? Did you drive like through Lake Michigan where there's no road? It sounds like a road trip.
How did you drive to Michigan if you then had to hitchhike?
Because we went to all the wineries and we didn't drive to the winery, and then we were stuck at the winery and there were no Ubers, so we got in the back of a pickup truck.
Wow, in Southwest Michigan? That's a bad idea.
That's a really bad idea.
We're here today, guys. Okay.
Did you try Detroit too?
Who's next?
Felicia is, if she can actually think of one.
No, Brandon just took my camping one.
Oh, okay. Amy, you're next.
Oh, well, let me look at my list because I can't come up with one. Let me see. Never have I ever gone surfing.
Oh yeah, I've never done that.
I've done wake surfing, but not like real ocean surfing. No,
not me.
You gotta stand up on the board. If you've stood up on the board and it moved, that was a surf.
Hey, I attempted many tries and I got really close a bunch, but it's still technically surfing.
Okay. Never have I ever, is it my turn? Sure. Never have I ever been to South America. No one here? Never have I ever been to Asia. I knew it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Targeted. I like it.
Amy lived in China if you lived under a rock. So.
Yeah.
Never have I ever eaten a live animal.
A live animal.
A live animal?
Does a grasshopper count?
Yeah, I was saying bugs count.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, I've done bugs before.
That's a live animal.
While it was alive?
Oh yeah.
Wait, actually, I don't think it was alive.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Amy was in Asia.
I was in Asia. What do you think I ate?
What they say is true. Okay.
I have a really good one.
Yeah, good.
Never have I ever seen a Harry Potter movie.
Oh my God. 8 of them in the
Wow.
last 2 weeks.
How have you not done that?
I don't know, guys, but I've lived, so you guys are making me feel bad about all of
You're
you.
a total Harry Potter person.
You think?
You would be really into it.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, you'd like it a lot.
Maybe
But
I'll watch it
also-
tonight.
Guys,
Also, Harry Potter's not like a new thing. It's been around for decades.
We grew up on the books.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I
house
did.
would Krista be in? She's totally a Gryffindor.
You don't think she's a Hufflepuff?
I think she's a Hufflepuff.
She's a Hufflepuff all day.
I think she's Hufflepuff.
All day.
I
All
can
day.
see it. I can see
See,
it.
look, Krista, you're all left out because you don't even know what that means.
I don't.
Quarantine. We're in the middle of a quarantine. Go watch the movie. No excuses. You're not coming back to work until you watch that movie.
Someone in the comments just wrote, "Krista, get out and report back after you watched Harry Potter."
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what should happen.
That's
Bye,
so
guys.
magical.
They get better.
same.
First couple are a little slow and young for you, but they get darker and cooler as they go on.
Here's a better idea. Read the books. The
Well,
books
that
are
too.
better than the movies.
Yeah,
Like,
by far.
what happened to your childhood, Krista?
I had a great childhood. This game feels targeted.
Where is the magic?
I feel like we need to have a talk with your mother.
All right, Paul.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
All right. I'll do one. Never have I ever watched Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Wait,
Either.
no.
That's a good
Put
one.
it down if
We
you
had
have.
this
You put it
conversation.
down if you have. Yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had this conversation because you would appreciate it so much,
Yeah,
Brandon.
you would.
Like,
It's
that-
so bad.
It's totally you. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's
Okay.
so
How
you,
many
Brandon.
episodes did you
I haven't
watch?
even seen it. And I
Lord of the
know it's
Rings
very
is
good.
superior.
No,
Here's
but
the
how many
problem
episodes of
Is
Game
you
of
have to
Thrones?
pay attention. And that's the problem for Brandon.
It's a very slow narrative with incest.
How
and
many
weird
episodes
stuff.
have you seen?
I tried watching the first episode many times. I've read the first 2 books. They're great books, really good books. The show is terrible, and I stand
He's
by it.
only seen the first episode and
You
never
can't say the
finished it.
show is terrible.
You've
You
never
thought-
watched it.
Terrible
He's never
pacing.
watched it.
Terrible pacing.
In the first episode,
He's never watched it.
I've seen other episodes here and there. It's just
Yeah.
bad pacing. It's a bad show.
you don't even like Ozark. I can't even stand whatever you're about to say.
Ozark's okay.
Amazing.
Anyways, we've got to go. Amy and I tie for first place with 1 left.
You're number one.
Thanks, K and B, for joining us. Let's get one last look at your weather forecast out for today. Sun now in some spots, rain a-coming. Heavy storms are on the way. Hot and humid out there, reaching the upper 80s and low 90s. Just a juicy atmosphere. It's a juicy atmosphere, everyone. What am I saying?
That's how I like it.
Friday.
Humid the next few days, on and off. And yeah, it's just going to be gross for the next 7 days. It's going to be summer. Enjoy it, everyone.
All right.
I'm
Gross.
done. Like, whatever.
Great.
Juicy atmosphere.
Juicy summer. Get used to it.
Uncut
Bye.
weather.
Yeah. What else we got to talk about here? Oh, barbecue. Send us your recipes, everyone. No. This is cool, though. Send us your recipes. We're going to make a bunch of them, and we're going to be sharing them next week. I want you to challenge us for a good one. I did steak tacos.
Ooh.
I'm going to make those, John. That's what I
Oh,
I'm
they're
gonna try
good.
it out.
They're really, really good.
Guys, I made my recipe last night. Some hot chicken. Woo!
Yeah.
Spicy, delicious. You'll see it. I'll post it.
All right.
Don't cook.
Okay, y'all. We'll see you back here Monday, starting at 9 a.m. for news and some fun and a whole lot of important conversations at 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. We'll see you then.
Bye, guys.
Nice weekend.
See ya.
Okay.
We're still on, everyone.
Alrighty.
Oh, we
We're
are?
streaming.
We are
Hey,
still
everyone.
live.
Oh my gosh.
This
Bonus
is so
content.
Lily, our producer, needs to end this meeting. Otherwise, people are still seeing us. So.
Oops.
Poor Daniel.
Well, guys, I'm going to shout